All right, we have 4 African masks that we need to be able to tell apart from one another. So this video is going to be focusing on the Bundu mask, or the Bundu, I say Bundu, by the Sunday Society, number 175. And we're gonna watch the College Board video that goes with this piece because she does a really good job teaching it.
We need to know what artwork we're going to be focusing on, and it's one of my faves from the African content area, from the African unit. It's the Bundu mask, made for the Sunday Society within the Mende peoples who live in the West African forests of Sierra Leone and Liberia. This is dated in the 19th and 20th century CE, and it is made of wood, cloth, and fiber. And that is one of our curriculum images there. So what skill are we going to focus on here? We're going to be focusing on skill number 2, which is the contextual analysis skill. And this is one of our more complicated skills, guys. This is the history part of art history. There's lots of layers that we have to unpack when it comes to different artworks across our curriculum. And for this particular video, we're going to be focusing on skills 2B and 2D. So we're going to be putting these two together. We're going to explain how the possible intent, purpose, and or function of an artwork shape the creation or meaning of the work. And we're going to explain how artistic decisions about form, style, materials, content, function, and or context of a work of art elicit a response or shape its reception. So that's what we're going to be talking about, the audience. So for skill 2B, the questions that are going to guide us. What is the purpose or intent of the work? What is the function of the work? Why does the purpose, intent, or function matter? How do they affect the work? And for skill 2D, the questions that are going to help guide us through, how did what was happening in the artist's world or historically affect the audience for this work? How did what was happening affect the response? Who and what did the work influence? So this is where we're going to talk more about the audience and the intention of the work and how it was supposed to be received. So the Bundu masks were made for the Sunday Society within the Mende peoples, within the Mende population. This is a mask tradition, a masquerade tradition that is believed to still exist in Sierra Leone and Liberia, but there's been some civil unrest in that area of Africa, so historians aren't quite sure how alive this practice and tradition still is, but it's been a long-standing one in this area of Africa. So what is the purpose or intent of this work? Well, it's a pretty cool one, I'm not going to lie. So Bundu masks are intended to portray the ideal woman. In the Mende population,
by the way, the information that she's writing on these slides is what you guys should be writing in your notes, okay?
They have a very specific type of feature. They have features that the ideal Mende woman should have. And these features are not just visual, they're not just physical, they're also about their character, about their attitude, about their demeanor. So these masks are intended to portray the ideal Mende woman. These masks, and we can definitely see this when we take a look at the mask that's on our curriculum here, they tend to always have small, squished faces, very tiny little compact faces. They have downcast, heavily lidded eyes. They have very small little mouths, very small little ears, rolls of fat or rings of fat at their base. They always have a very smooth, broad forehead. They usually have a very elaborate coiffure, or this is the hairstyle up on the top. And the surface of these masks is typically very glossy. It can be kind of a satin, sheeny finish that's smooth and black. So what was the function of this work? Well, within the Mende population, there is a society, and this society was called the Sunday Society. The Sunday Society is deemed a secret society, and it contains just women. And the Bundu masks, like our Bundu masks here, are used by elder members of the Sunday Society. So these would be used by older women within the community, not the younger women. The younger women are the audience. They're the ones who are being initiated. So Bundu masks get worn by the elders of the Sunday Society during initiation ceremonies. These are rituals and ceremonies where the young girls, these are the initiates, are being brought into the Sunday Society. They are maturing, they are becoming women. So why does the purpose, intent, or function matter? How do they affect the work? Well, this is really big for the Bundu masks. We need to understand how their purpose and their function being used by the Sunday Society, being used to initiate young girls, how do they impact the way that this work looks? So they are warned by the elders of this all-female secret society. So they're teaching the young girls how to be. Therefore, these masks must showcase the ideals for the Mende women. It's showing the girls what they should strive for, what they should strive to be, both physically and in terms of their character and in terms of their attitude and their demeanor. And that brings us to our audience, the initiates of the Sunday Society. These are teaching tools that are used for them. These masks are used in a masquerade, in ceremonies and in rituals that help teach them how to become women, teach them how to become good wives, teach them how to become mothers. At this stage of their life, these young girls, these young initiates, the audience of these works, worn by the elders of this society, they are called chrysalis. And this very much refers to, between a caterpillar and a butterfly. These young girls are no longer young girls, yet they're not yet women. They're in that in-between stage. They're changing, they're developing. They're no longer girls, but they're not yet women. So these chrysalis are there to witness this education. They're there to be taught in a series of rituals and ceremonies how to prepare for wifehood and for motherhood. So how did what was happening in the artist's world affect the audience for this work? How did what was happening affect the response? And who and what did the work influence? Well, this initiation process has been a long-standing tradition for Mende women. This is something that is going to be expected. It's going to be part of a Mende woman's life, and it's something that they are going to take seriously. These initiates are the captive audience. They are brought into the forest and they are taught by these elder women. So the initiates are the students and the elders are the teachers. Just think about what your relationship is with your teachers, at least I hope. You respect your teachers. The initiates are going to respect the teachers. They're going to respect the process. They're going to respect the entire ceremony, the entire initiation, in which these masks are just a small part of. The symbolism of this mask is also tied to the spiritual realm. The wearers of this mask are thought to be endowed with spiritual power. So around the world, regardless of what your religious or spiritual beliefs are, spiritual traditions are taken seriously and they're treated with great respect and with dignity. And that is how the audience, the initiates, and the elders who are part of the ceremonies would have responded to this work when it was in use. It contained a spiritual power, and it would have been treated with great respect. So what should we take away? The Bundu masks were made for the members of the Sunday Society within the Mende peoples. So just a very small sector of the Mende population, these women. If you are a Mende woman, you are going to become, at one point in your life, probably around puberty, part of the Sunday Society. These masks are used by only the elders. It's really important to distinguish that. This is stressed to my students every year. The masks are not worn by the initiates. They are worn by the elders, the older women who have already gone through the initiation. They are the teachers. They're used as teaching tools in these ceremonies for initiation. They symbolically represent the feminine ideal. All of these visual features, all of these tiny little squished features, the fat rolls. You have a small face, you're demure, you're calm, you're composed. You keep your mouth shut. You don't speak gossip, you don't hear gossip. You have enough fat on your body to support a healthy pregnancy. You have wisdom and knowledge and intelligence. You have beautiful, shiny, clean black skin. This fits the ideal. And the audience response, these chrysalis, the students, they are the audience. These would have been taken very seriously and treated with great respect. The initiates would have been 100% like part of that moment, taking it for all that the experience offered. This is what was preparing them for adulthood.
I think it's also important to remember, like all of the African artwork, it's not meant to be something static and still. The mask is part of a whole costume. It's part of a dance. It's part of a ritual. There's music. And it's also worn as kind of a helmet on the top of the head, not necessarily what we would think as a mask going over the eyes.
The Bundu mask is from the Bundu society. The full dress, the full masquerading dancer is called the Sui. Normally, the head of the Bundu society is the Sui. That's the title. A Sui dancer normally comes out occasionally. Sometimes at the start of the society, when the young girls have to go in for the secret society for initiation.
Okay, the last thing I want to add about the Bundu mask is the rolls around the neck have been referred to as fat rolls. I've also heard it referred to as Sowo, the water spirit. So they believed that their people, their spirits emerged from the water. And when you have something either going into water or coming out of water, you kind of have those ripples in the water. So the rings around the neck are supposed to allude to rising out of the water as Sowo, the water spirit. Okay, guys, when I look up the Bundu mask in College Board for past questions, there's like 7 previous questions just on the Bundu mask. So we're going to go through these questions together, okay? All right, first one, Bundu mask attribution. All right, so again, this is an attribution question. We haven't studied this mask, but it's pretty obvious that it was. So the work can be attributed to which culture? The Lapita culture of the Solomon Islands. That's from the first units, like the Paleolithic units. The Mende from West Africa, the Mexica or Aztec of Mexico, the Kawakawakawak, love those guys, from Canada's Northwest. So we know that's the Mende from West Africa. I can check our answers right here. Yep, you can read that if you want. I'm gonna move on. All right, the work shown can be attributed to the Sunday Society's Bundu mask tradition because of so without even reading the examples, what would you say? Just based on the form, why would you say this is attributed to the Sunday Society's Bundu mask? Complex hairstyle meant to exemplify male strength? No. Glossy black surface representing a woman's inner beauty. I like that one. Small mouth symbolizing the modesty of old age. It does have a small mouth. I don't know about the modesty of old age part. Hollow cavity that was carved to hold medicinal materials. Which one is that one about? I think that's about the Nikisi Nikandi. So it should be B, glossy black surface representing a woman's inner beauty. Nice job, you guys. All right, number 4, the audience witnessing Sunday Society masquerades would have recognized the glossy black patina of the Bundu mask surface as representing A, the dark and difficult transition that Sunday initiates face, the female ancestor spirits that reside in the earth, the need for women to embrace their deep wisdom, the idealized beauty of smooth and glistening dark skin. I'm guessing D. Yes. Got it. All right, let's go to 5. In Mende culture, the Bundu mask, as a part of a masquerade ritual related to gender roles, is worn by which one? This one says senior members of a secret society, yes. Who select young male candidates for initiation? No, so we know it's not that one. Female elders, yes. Who serve as teachers and mentors during girls' initiations? I'm gonna go with yes. Initiates parents, male leaders, no, so I'm gonna guess A. Bam. Okay, and you can read the reasoning why. This one is our image. Art historians interpret the neck rings on the Bundu mask shown as symbolizing A, jewelry worn by young women during the masquerade, B, the identity of the mask's creator and the date of creation, healthy body fat and the chrysalis of a moth. That's what she talked about in the video, the knowledge and wisdom of male ancestors. So I'm gonna go with C. So it talks about here, the neck rings have been interpreted in many ways: healthy body fat, the chrysalis of a moth, and ripples of water have all been confirmed by women from the Sande Society as valid interpretations of the symbolism of the mask's neck rings. Multiple interpretations. We would have been in trouble if it gave different interpretations as possible answers, like ripples of water or, body fat. All right, what do the features on a Bundu mask embody? Ideals of masculine virtue, ideals of feminine beauty, morality and conduct, fertility, and the first ancestral couple, the sacred presence of a deceased loved one. What do you guys think? Yeah, I thought so too. Explains it on the bottom. All right, one more. The Chakwe Po mask is similar to the Mende Bundu mask in that both celebrates the power of womanhood, are intended to be worn and danced by females. No, the Po mask is danced by a male. That's a dude. Include elaborate beading and weaving, represent queens and their respective societies. So I haven't made my Po video yet, but I'm guessing A, celebrating the powers of womanhood. All right, hopefully that was helpful to you guys.